Alright guys, this is Open 20.3s. I want to give you some supplements so that you guys can crush this thing. This was a little late this week. I apologize. I had a lot of shit going on. Got a little delayed. Either way, hopefully you can see this before you repeat it. And if you're not repeating it, maybe you haven't done it yet. Or otherwise, if you have done it, you can see what you could have done. No, I'm kidding. You can simply use this same information for any heavy Metcon in CrossFit. So still, hopefully it's valuable information for you. I'll try to get the other 2 weeks up quick on Thursday night instead. Anywho, so I'll run through this. A lot of this is very similar to 20.2, so you can watch my video there for a little bit more in-depth description of some of these things here. I won't get into this too much. I'll run through it and then I'll explain it a little bit. So waking up, caffeine, if you're doing the workout remotely close to when you wake. A venotropic here, aged garlic extract, beet complex, some taurine. 2 hours before, you take some nitrates. And 30-60 minutes before, you will take the pre-workout shake with pulse, a little extra caffeine, a couple other supplements, NAC, arjuna extract, beta alanine, sugar, Agamatine, and then some nootropics, Alpha GPC, huperzine A. And then right before the workout, you take a hot shot. All of this is in the description with the amounts and some links for some of the harder to find stuff. Now I'll kind of go into this a little bit more in depth. So when we look at 20.3, this is a strength workout, okay? This is gonna come down to strength for just about everybody. So on one side, I would say if you're advanced level and you're sanctional level athlete, games level athlete, it's gonna come down to how fast you can move the 315. Everything else is very easy, right? So again, how fast you can move that 315 is going to come down to how fast your body can contract, what the muscle physiology's relationship is to your cardiac system, okay? How your respiratory system is communicating between the two, so to speak, and a bunch of different elements like that. But again, the 315 is going to be the 315 deadlift is going to be where everybody, the separator, right? For the elite guys, how fast you move through that is how good you're going to do in the workout. Then as we kind of go down in the rankings a little bit, you'll see the opposite problem with handstand push-ups. Perhaps the deadlift is okay, but you're not really that great at handstand push-ups, which is actually a strength issue as well, right? So if you're going up to do a handstand push-up and you can only do one or two and you're maximally contracting your body to get that rep or two in, right? That looks very similar to somebody else who's trying to rep out 315 on the deadlift, but it's also very heavy. So they have to do a couple reps, drop it, shake it out, a couple reps, drop it. Very similar to a couple handstand push-ups, come down, shake it out. So it's a very similar issue, okay? It's basically how strong you can be, how much you can maximize your strength potential in a fatigued state. So in order to help you guys with that, we look at that as the limiter, and then we add most of these information in black is very similar to 20.2 because it's maximizing our cardiac's response to our muscle tissue. Okay, we're trying to shuttle as much blood to that muscle tissue as we can, and we're trying to shuttle as much oxygenated blood to that muscle tissue. And then we're trying to return that blood back to the heart so we can keep cycling it. Okay, there are other issues in here like your respiratory system that comes into play. So you need to make sure you're breathing good so that your body can get what it needs. But from a supplemental point of view and a nutrition point of view, we want to fuel you as much as we possibly can. We want to prevent back cramps and back blow-ups. We want to maximize your cardiac's ability to shuttle and get those nutrients into your muscle fibers. And we also want to be able to maximize your body's ability to contract for heavy loads or heavy reps like a handstand push-up if that's difficult for you. So in order to do that, most of the information in black here, like I said, is the cardiac structure. We're trying to maximize capillary ventilation, right? We're trying to maximize how much red blood cells we can get to the muscle. We're trying to maximize the dilation of the capillaries and muscle tissue. So we're trying to basically influence the blood pathway, so to speak, into the muscle tissue without getting too crazy about it. So all that's going to stay the same. We can add more caffeine to this, okay, because we can really rev up that central nervous system so that we can contract a little bit more powerfully, because this workout is mainly strength related. So Pulse has about 350 milligrams of caffeine in it. I would add probably another 200 milligrams of caffeine or so. Then we can add some nootropics, which are brain stimulants, which are going to help us contract. Okay, so this is going to improve the communication from your brain to your muscle tissue, to help you contract for those heavier loads when you're under fatigue. Also, we can take a hot shot, which is going to prevent a certain type of cramping, so we don't want the back to blow up. Okay, part of the thing that we're going to do for that, make sure you're hydrating very well. If you're not getting many meals in before you do the workout, have something like Pedialyte where you have minerals in there that can help the hydration status. Okay, taurine actually helps get those minerals and water into your cells. Okay, so that's also very important. But you can also cramp even though it's not a hydration or mineral or electrolyte problem, and you can cramp from that through a neurological issue. Okay, basically it's a neurological misfire. What that means is the communication between your brain and a certain muscle tissue, like a certain location like your lower back, is overly stimulated, let's say. It's almost like your brain, to kind of give an easier view of this, it's like your brain is screaming at your muscle tissue to contract, and it never stops screaming, so it constantly stays contracted instead of letting it relax. Okay, so you're gonna have that massive pump in your back. So between the taurine, the hydration, the minerals, and taking the hot shot right before you work out, we can prevent that as much as we possibly could anyway. And a side note on this, taking things like topical menthol, menthol, whatever the fuck it is, it's been a long day, like Icy Hot, things like that, or Tiger Balm, and I forgot what other brands there are out there. But those things actually they're meant to numb the area so you don't feel it as much, which doesn't really help, but also it can take away performance, and it can take away performance because it actually limits the blood volume that can accumulate. It restricts. It's a vasoconstrictor, so it actually restricts the blood flow in that area, which can make it worse. So you want to avoid that shit, and you want to go this route to be a little bit smarter about preventing your back to cramp up, which is most likely the only thing that would cramp up in this workout, because it's a lot of fucking deadlifts. So that's that. You take this stack, I can guarantee you'll be way more successful than you would otherwise. There's just no way around that. This is pure physiology. The only differences are caffeine may respond differently to different people, and that's based off your genotype and what variant you have of a specific gene. If you happen to have 23andMe or some raw genetic data, you can shoot that over to me and I can actually tell you, but that would influence whether you're a slow metabolizer or a fast metabolizer, which will tell you when you should be taking caffeine in relation to working out. But again, you don't know that unless you know your genotype. So for now, all I would say is try to at least consume all of this 30 minutes before you work out. That means finish the shake 30 minutes later you work out, not sipping the shake up until you work out. All right, so hopefully this helps. That was kind of a quick little overview. It's all in the description. The amounts are there and some links are there. And yeah, if you're giving it another go, kick some ass.